What is up, community? It is Ashrok. Welcome to my Minimates collection video. This is a part of my various collection videos I've done in the last couple of years. I started off with the Marvel Universe collection, then the CGC comic book collection video, and then after I did my revised Danger Room video, which this is where we're at. We are in the Danger Room here. I said I was going to be coming out with different videos based on collections. So I started off with the WWE collection, and then I did a Marvel Legends collection most recently. And now we're off to the Minimates collection. So as you guys can see, you guys can go watch the Danger Room video and see how I put all this together and all the craziness. And then if you're interested, depending on what line, you can go to that particular video and watch that, whether it's Marvel Legends, Marvel Universe, my comic book collection, or whatever. I'm obviously I'm a whore when it comes to collecting. And I'm a whore for fucking Minimates. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, first and foremost, before I get to the actual display itself and some of my extras, I'm actually going to go show you guys my extras before I get into the display. But let me just talk about Minimates and how I got into it. First and foremost, I was never a big fan of Minimates. I really wasn't. But then something over the years, I found them a little charming and they were intricate in a way. They were kind of, you know, they don't have the best articulation. No, they don't have amazing paint shading and whatnot. No. With Minimates, it was the simplicity and the charm and the character selection. By far, and I'll just be very bold in saying this, Marvel or Minimates has by far the best character selection of any toy line in history of action figures. In the history of action figures, there is something for everyone. Video games, movies, TV shows, comic books. Minimates originally started off with DC Minimates before they got to Marvel, and it didn't work out for whatever reason. They broke off their deal and went off to Marvel. But there's literally something for everyone, vehicles and all kinds of stuff. I think they shit on Legos personally. I think Legos have that, you know, growing up charm and they're fun. But for me, Minimates do it. You know, some people might say, well, Legos has way more character selection. I don't think so. Legos has a lot of characters, but when you're talking about the intricate little, like the abstract characters like Boomer or an Age of Apocalypse set, as you can see right there, you're not going to find that anywhere but Minimates. You're just not. You're not going to find a Shatterstar. You're not going to find certain characters that they've made and costumes that they've made. I mean, fuck, there's like probably over 100 Iron Mans they've made, just Iron Man alone, and Spider-Mans and whatnot. That to me is really, really cool. So let's go check out the other stuff I have before I get into the details and how I got into this collection. So here we are in the laundry room. This is where I do most of my, all my reviews really, and some of my ACBAs. You can see I still got the kinetic sand there for my Sandman art. So I haven't done much ACBA since then. Just been really busy with work. But I bought, first and foremost, I bought this thing right here. I bought this at Menards. You can probably find this at Home Depot or Lowe's. And in here I have all my little Minimate stuff. I have my weapons. I have my you know, my guns, my blades. I believe here we have just accessories and props and what's all this. So this is like shields and you know, heads, and so I want to get like a label maker and just label them off so I know where everything is. Down here you have some other you know, police officers and characters of that nature, like you know, firefighters and stuff like that. Here you have pedestrians, and they're not necessarily pedestrians. These are obviously characters from various video games, you know, Ghostbusters and stuff like that. But when you're doing a ACBA display, it kind of does, you can't really tell at times who's who. And then here's just a bunch of extra variants and costumes and stuff. I got like 30 different Iron Mans in there, and War Machines and Captain Americas and whatnot. There's some more stuff here. I think this is that Hulk Through the Ages or something box set. I think that's what that was. And then over here I put all this stuff on my dryer to kind of showcase super quick. Got my DC stuff, and again, this is a lot of the stuff, my extra stuff. I probably got, what I'm showing you guys right now is probably about 200 to 300 extra Minimates that I got laying around that I just, not extras, but just stuff I haven't displayed yet. So I got all my my DC stuff in here. That Bane is fucking boss. And again, it started with DC and eventually broke into other things. Here I got movies and video games. I got some just some cool stuff, some PlayStation 3 stuff, some Ghostbuster stuff in here. Jay and Silent Bob stuff, really cool stuff there. This is, what's this? The X-Men set. Days of Future Past box set, and then I think it's like Wolverine Through the Ages. There's other random things here, Punishers and some Kree soldiers. And again, just because I don't have enough room for it, that's how that all went down. But yeah, and then more stuff here, just a bunch of random craziness. And this is all Walking Dead, tons of Walking Dead. I probably got like about 60 in here, maybe more. And then most recently I purchased the Turtle ones. They came out in the 2-packs. Finally, I wasn't going to do the blind bag bullshit that Diamond had. So let's move on back to the display case. So back to the display case itself and how I got into Minimates. So I know I kind of was talking about it a little bit, but long story short, I really wanted to get into X-Men. That was my main thing. X-Men's my favorite stuff in the world, guys. Hence the name of the room, the Danger Room. Hence, oh, by the way, I never showcased this. I don't think I ever showcased. I got the sign on the front of the door, Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. It was a special made sign I bought on eBay for quite a bit, but it was well worth it in my opinion. But Tony B hit me up and he said, man, I got all these Minimates. This dude just sold me his whole collection. I went to his house. I said, I just want the X-Men one. He was kind enough to have all the X-Men characters already lined up for me. Sold it to me for very, very, just a hookup, like a community hookup, man. I said, all right, cool. And it was like over 100 of them. And there was a bunch of Walking Dead ones. And I said, man, I can't really afford those right now. And he said, don't worry about it. He gave me the Walking Dead ones. I think it was like an extra 20 free Minimates. Just gave them to me on the house. And I said, dude, thank you so much. And then went home that day and I started messing around with them. And I'm like, man, these are fucking awesome. You know, I can't believe I used to hate on these. And they're just so, they have that fun factor. And they're so collectible. And I thought about that bad boy there. He had that bad boy displayed, MODOK. He had it there at his house. And I was like, man. He didn't have it displayed, but he had it like in that pile of, or that, you know, bins of Minimates he had. And I was like, God, I really want to get that. But I was like, no, because I know what's going to happen. And then the next day I call him and he's like, oh, I already sold them all. I'm like, son of a bitch, I would have bought more. So what started off as an X-Men thing turned into this shit. Just fucking madness. So I have I have close to probably 800 Minimates. In 2 years I've been collecting them. Started in March of 2013. I'm going to open up this display for you guys. Speaking of Minimates, here's a custom Minimate I bought. I don't really buy a lot of custom figures, but the Minimate Spawn I saw was really, really cool. It's got this long-ass cape. It was beautiful. The only thing it was missing was the chains. But let me open this bad boy up so you guys get a better appreciation for the figures, and it doesn't have that shininess. But again, it started off with just X-Men, and it's crazy. This is how much of an X-Men fan I am. This is how much character selection this line has. Look at that. The first five shelves are all X-Men, and there are roughly 35 to 40 pieces per shelf. Okay, I believe it's 12 or 13 shelves altogether, so you do the math. And there's usually one in front, one in back. Okay, the shelf itself, I'm going to pull back one more time. I apologize if I'm getting a little shaky with the camera. But the shelf itself is a shot glass cabinet. Now, after I bought all those Minimates from Tony B, and I kept buying Minimates, I kept adding on, I just had them in Ziploc bags sitting on the fucking floor. I had no way displaying them. I kept looking for ways to display my Minimates, and people had various videos of like Lego tiers and stuff like that. People had them in their DTOFs. And to me, a DTOF with Minimates in it just seems like a waste of space unless you are going to invest in a ton of Lego pieces and literally tier them off all the way to the top. So like starting from like right here and just tier upwards, okay? To me, that felt like it wasn't worth it either. I was like, that just seems like too much fucking work, and I don't know. I felt like that was a waste. So I kept looking for something to display my Minimates, different display cases, and everything was so expensive or it just wasn't going to work. Until I found this. This here is a shot glass cabinet. That's what this is. If you look it up on Amazon or eBay, they have these in black and in this color that I bought, which is the like burgundy or whatever. It's a shot glass cabinet. It's got a glass door to it. So this is a glass door. It's got two latches. And then it's got all these shelves, which are, if you would like to display larger figures, that's why I have these figures up here. Okay, like the Galactus zombie and then the regular Galactus and then all my cool vehicles. That Batmobile is not a Minimate. I do have the Minimate Batmobile, but that's not it there. Yeah, if you want to change out the shelves and have more space for the head, and like for instance, like some of the larger characters are at the bottom, which I'll get to. That for some reason, this one here is a little bit larger. The spacing in here is a little bit larger. But I did the measurements. I took the time to figure out what was going to work for my Minimate collection and how I was going to display it. And I bought this thing. It was $170 shipped. It was a bit pricey. It is wall mountable. As you can see, I got it on the wall. So it doesn't take up much space. And it's a beautiful display, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, it just kind of worked out. You know, it's one of those things you kind of experiment. And that's part of being a collector and collecting over the years. As you start to mature, you experiment, you figure out new things, new ways of displaying your items and making it presentable. As a collector, as an adult collector, I'm 32 years old. I want my shit to look proper. I want people to come in who are toy collectors and appreciate this room. And I want people who are not toy collectors to appreciate the room. And something like this took some time, took some work, obviously a lot of money, but it was well worth it. And displaying it the right way. So you can see, I'm not going to go over every single character, okay? But I'll go over kind of like how I display them. So the first 5 rows, as you can see, are all X-Men. You're going to start off with a lot of the Jim Lee characters, the Jim Lee era up top, okay? And then you're going to break into some various other characters. And then you're going to get into some of the Astonishing X-Men. Hope. She's not really an Astonishing X-Men, but she was part of that, I guess, genre or whatnot. Quicksilver. And, you know, you can just see we're getting into some of the X-Factor teams. And then X-Force. That cable is absolutely bananas. I highly recommend it. More X-Force, the more modern X-Force and Uncanny X-Force. Now, some of the characters obviously in the back, and what's crazy is you can fit 2 in, you know, one in front, one in back, you know, and you can actually fit a third one. It's so deep. That's what she said. It's so deep that, she never said that. It's so deep, my fucking brain, that you could actually fit a third row in the back if I really wanted to. So essentially, I could fit probably another 300 Minimates in here. In terms of what I'm using for the Minimates, these are Lego stands, okay? You can get, you know, if you'd like, you can get, you know, the regular stands for Minimates. I think they're a little pricey. These weren't too bad. I think it was like 100 of them for like $45. So they work out. They got the same size peg holes. Now with some Minimates, some of the older Minimates don't have peg holes. And with some of the newer ones, there's some that they won't fit in there. They might be a little larger. They might be a little bit smaller. Some of the bulkier characters, for instance, like Beast up here. Where is he? Where is the Beast? So Beast right there, you can see, you know, he's got the big feet. He doesn't really need peg holes, or he doesn't need a stand. But some of the characters, or even like Storm there, because of her cape and things like that get in the way, it makes it a little more difficult to use the stands. But, yeah, so you can see the first 5-row X-Men here. You got the Age of Apocalypse setting up. And what a great, I mean, just abstract, man. That's what's fucking great about this line. An Age of Apocalypse series. I mean, look at that. All of the characters. One of my favorite X books of all time. Big time X-Men fan, obviously. And Age of Apocalypse, I remember being, I think I was like 17 when I read Age of Apocalypse. And I was just in complete awe. I was like, or maybe I was 16. I was a teenager and I was like, man, this is fucking awesome. Such a great read. I got the Brood. I'm going to actually be removing these pretty soon just because I feel like they're taking up too much space. They're nice, but I'm going to set them aside for now. And that's the cool thing about displaying too, guys. Is like you don't have to display every single thing you own. You could obviously swap things out in humans over here. And this, you know, after the X-Men line, now you're going to get into some of the more intergalactic characters and some of the space characters and whatnot. So you can see that there. Get into the different alien races, and there's Thanos. So some really cool characters. You know, with the characters in the back, it's kind of a bitch to see it via camera. Here we're getting to the Spider-Man stuff. So I got a lot of the Spider-Man characters, the Venoms that have come out, the villains, the various rogues gallery of villains and stuff. It's crazy, the only X-Men, real quick, I'm missing from villains is the Juggernaut, the newer Juggernaut. I hate the old Juggernaut, but the old school Juggernaut, but the new one that comes in a 4-pack, it's an Excalibur San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That Juggernaut, man, I need that in my collection. And I also still need Mysterio and the new Doc Ock in my collection as well. That's the old Doc Ock, which isn't bad, but I like the new one where he kind of can stand on his tentacles and stuff like that. Then we're getting into like the Fantastic Four and some of the Marvel Knight characters here. So some of the darker characters. You got the Red Hulk in the back, Punisher. These are the Thunderbolts set. Blade, World War Hulk. That's a really cool one. I like that one a lot. Some more Punishers. And then down here, you're going to get some of the classic characters, Avengers and stuff like that. So you got the classics. You got the Hulkbuster, which is a great figure. Vision. You know, I still need to get a solid Vision. I believe that is the, yeah, that's the, like, the see-through one, the phasing one, which is kind of neat. But that's the new set right there. The new Iron Fist, and you know, that's another thing that's really cool about Minimates is they do the best of series, where they re-release. Oh, excuse me, they re-release figures, which is really neat to see. Here you have some of the Shield agents. You're gonna get some of the video game characters, and I'm gonna be removing some of these pretty soon and swapping out. There's Nathan Drake, one of my favorite video games of all time, Uncharted. Then we get into the zombies, all the zombies I have. So you got the villains and the heroes and just a mixed batch of zombies. There's another villain set coming out pretty soon. Very excited to see that. Then we get to some more villains. That Red Skull I kind of just makeshifted. I made myself. It's okay. I want to get the Red Skull from Series 26, I believe. That is the one to get. I still don't have a Bullseye. The only Bullseye, I believe there's 2 or maybe 3 different Bullseyes. But there's original Bullseye. It's kind of you know, it's all right. But then there's a Bullseye from Wave 3 when they first started making waves. It was Series 3 Bullseye. That one is the one to get. And I really want that one, but it goes for about $40. Speaking of expensive Minimates, where is he? Where's my bad boy? There he is. One of the best Minimates of all time. In my top, I'm not going to say what, but he is awesome. Because I'm actually going to do a top 50, maybe a top 100 Minimates collection video. But just awesome stuff there. And, you know, this is where the big characters come in. And these are some custom work here. I got a Hellboy and Abe there. Bought it from one of the community members. Not a bad price at all. I'm a big Hellboy fan. I thought it was kind of cool, and more video game stuff there. So, but there you have it, man. This has been my collection video in terms of Minimates. I highly recommend them. They're here's the thing, man. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, they are very addictive. I know my buddy Mikey, he started collecting them after seeing some of my I think ACBA shots and some of my hauls. He's like, I'm gonna get into those, and then now he's like a fucking Minimate freak, man. He loves them just like I do, and they're very addicting, but similar to like the Marvel Legends video, like I said before, or the WWE collection video, or any other collection video I've done, guys, be smart about your purchases. Now, obviously, I've bought a lot of shit in the last almost 2 years, but I was very smart with how I did it, through trades, through the community, through finding very good prices, through sales. You know, you gotta kind of be as you get older and you become an older collector, like you see my collection, you're like, man, how the fuck did you afford all this shit? But I didn't pay as much as you think. It's just being a smart buyer and knowing what to do and how to trade and how to, like, you know, build relationships with people across the world that want to look out for you and you do good for them and they do good for you, and that's just how you do it, man. You know, community and just doing it right. Buying in lots helps a lot. So you just got to be smart with it and don't rush it. You know, be patient in many cases. And just, you know, just go from there. If you guys have any questions or anything, you know, comments, leave them in the section below. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, remember to laugh every day. I'll talk to you guys next time. Deuces.